Imagine this. You wake up one morning, not because of your alarm, but because your soul makes a weird beep-boop noise. You blink twice, roll over, and check your phone to see the time, and realize you've been scrolling for 48 minutes before you even opened your eyes. Somewhere between your dream about flying tacos and a video titled How to Escape Quicksand with Only a Flute, you forgot to ask the real question: what the hell are you even doing? And no, not like today. Like in general, on Earth, in this human meat suit, walking around in socks with holes, buying overpriced oat milk, and pretending to understand taxes. You've been alive for a while now, but can you say with full confidence that you've actually started living? Or are you just a sentient potato operating in demo mode, waiting for the full version of yourself to install? You ever get that weird feeling, like your body's doing things but your brain is off somewhere else? Thinking about dinosaurs wearing tiny hats or whether frogs have feelings? That's not a glitch. That's you, professionally dissociating. Let's be honest, you've locked your car 3 times in a row, but your brain still thinks you left the stove on in 1998. You've spent 20 minutes arguing with yourself about whether your social anxiety is real or just lactose intolerance in disguise. And somewhere, deep in the haunted archives of your brain, your 7th grade self is still screaming about the time you called the teacher Mom. And why do we remember that? Why do we remember that, but not where we left our keys or what we went into the kitchen for? You walked in there with purpose, with confidence. You had a mission. And now you're holding a spoon, standing in front of the fridge like you're about to propose to it. It's like life has turned into one long fever dream, and your brain is the worst Google Maps app in existence. Turn left at trauma. In 200 feet, spiral emotionally. Recalculating. Meanwhile, you've subscribed to 6 meditation apps but still scream when the Wi-Fi drops below 3 bars. You post inspirational quotes about finding yourself but get nervous ordering at Starbucks. Can I get a tall venti grande flat? Existential panic? Here's the kicker. We live in a world where bananas are berries, but strawberries are not. This is not a joke. This is botanically accurate betrayal. And if that doesn't make you question your entire identity, I don't know what will. Because seriously, if you can't even trust fruit, how do you trust your own thoughts? You say things like, I need to find myself. But what does that even mean? Like you're a missing sock behind the cosmic dryer? Where are you looking exactly? Under your bed? Inside your phone? At the bottom of a pint of ice cream you said you wouldn't eat but absolutely destroyed like it owed you money? You buy books with titles like Unlocking the Power of You or Becoming Yourself in 10 Easy Steps. But all you really do is highlight inspiring quotes and never finish them. It's okay. We've all done it. You didn't finish this sentence either. Probably got distracted by a pigeon out the window or a random intrusive thought like, what if clouds are just sky jellyfish? Here's a fun fact. The average person has about 6,000 thoughts per day, and somehow 5,998 of yours are just replays of arguments you never had. The other 2 are wondering if dogs think in barks or vibes. You say you want to be authentic, but then you download a face app that makes you look like a hot vampire from 2047. You crave meaning, but binge shows called Murder Pancakes until 3 a.m. You're trying to live your truth while Googling how to fake confidence in Zoom meetings. And let's not forget the holy grail of mental chaos: passwords. You forget your email password every 3 days, but you still remember your crush's birthday from 12 years ago, their favorite cereal, and the exact sound their footsteps made in the hallway. Romantic? No. That's just obsessive autobiographical trauma filing. And speaking of cereal, Captain Crunch? Not a captain. Never was. That man is a fraud. His actual military rank is Commander of Deception, which makes him the perfect metaphor for your identity crisis. Because if you peel back the layers of adulting, social masks, and those LinkedIn posts where you pretend to care about synergy, what's really under there? A confused, sentient blob trying to pick between doing the laundry and starting a podcast about bread. And you know what? That's not failure. That's the human condition with a Wi-Fi plan. So here we are. You're scrolling through the internet, reading this strange, chaotic spiral of thoughts wrapped in philosophical chaos and dad jokes. And maybe you're wondering, wait, is this about me? Yes. You! Exactly you! But what if that's exactly the problem? So, here's the thing. You keep trying to find yourself like you're a missing AirPod in the couch cushions of the universe. But what if, just what if, the real problem isn't that you're lost? What if you've been hiding? Not like, oh no, the killer's coming, hide behind the curtain. More like, oh no, my true self is inconvenient, awkward, possibly weird, and won't fit into this business casual dress code. So let me just shove it behind my LinkedIn profile and emotionally edit it with filters until I look like I do yoga. Yeah, that kind of hiding. Welcome to the glitch in the matrix, approval addiction. It's that sneaky psychological malware that makes you think other people's opinions are your soul's Yelp reviews. One bad rating, and suddenly you're spiraling into a full-blown identity crisis, deleting childhood dreams like they're old screenshots you don't want anyone to see. You live like a human Wi-Fi signal, constantly scanning for validation. That outfit needs a compliment. That post needs likes. That joke needs laughter, or you will literally implode like a neutron star made of anxiety. And you know what makes it worse? You're aware of it. You know it's ridiculous. You've read books, watched TED Talks, listened to podcasts with titles like Be Unstoppable while crying into a grilled cheese sandwich. You quote Carl Jung in your journal, but still apologize to the Roomba when you bump into it. Sorry, Greg. Didn't mean to crush your dreams again. As Nietzsche probably meant to say, he who has a Wi-Fi signal can endure almost any waiting room. But seriously, somewhere along the line, the phrase "find yourself" mutated from a soulful quest into a personality audition for an invisible panel of judges you think are watching. Spoiler alert, they're not. They're too busy overthinking their own text messages from 2016. Did I sound too enthusiastic when I said thanks? Should I have used one exclamation point? Do they hate me now? Let's talk facts. According to absolutely real but emotionally fabricated research, 87% of adults have considered faking their own death to avoid one awkward social obligation. 72% of humans have rehearsed entire conversations in the shower that never happened. And 100% of people have tried to be themselves while actively curating which parts of themselves are acceptable in public. Like, you want to be authentic, but only the cool version of authentic, not the midnight Googling your symptoms authentic. Not the crying to a squirrel because he looked like he was listening authentic. But here's the punchline. Your real self is not a Disney Channel character waiting to be discovered in a musical montage. It's a bizarre collection of contradictions, shower thoughts, fears, dreams, memes, daddy issues, and a suspicious love of Trader Joe's frozen meals. It's messy. It's weird. It's probably lactose intolerant. And it's you. But our society, oh boy, our society wants you to be one thing, digestible. You go to school to learn formulas, but never how to calculate your self-worth. You go to work to play a role, nod like a bobblehead, and answer emails with "per my last message," even though you're internally screaming. You learn to smile through anxiety, wear ambition like a cologne, and say "I'm fine" like it's a legally binding statement. Let's bring in the psychological big guns. The great Viktor Frankl once said, "When a person can't find a deep sense of meaning, they distract themselves with pleasure." You took that personally. And now you have 7 streaming subscriptions, a skincare fridge, and a weird emotional connection to your DoorDash driver. Meanwhile, Jean-Paul Sartre said, "Hell is other people," but he also never tried group projects on Zoom, so we'll forgive him for the understatement. And let's not forget good old Schopenhauer, who basically believed life was suffering and happiness was a brief break from it, like when you sneeze and feel oddly proud. If he were alive today, he'd probably say, "True happiness is not having to attend a virtual meeting where everyone pretends their camera is not working." Here's where things get spicy. The more you chase external validation, the more you edit your identity like a resume, tweaking, cutting, adding buzzwords like team player, when really you hate teams. And players, you don't find yourself this way. You create a public relations version of yourself, the conference room you, the social media you, the first date. But I'm hiding my existential crisis until dessert you. You're playing emotional Tetris, trying to stack all the right pieces, only to realize they never actually line up. That's the hidden trap. And even when you get praised for being so put together, there's that whisper in the back of your mind, "They don't actually know me," which is your brain's way of saying, "Bro, we just committed identity fraud on ourselves." You laugh it off. You shrug. You tell yourself, everyone's doing it. And you're right. Everyone is walking around with a secret fake personality, like we're all in one big improv class called How to Function as a Person 101. So what do? You cling to routines, comfort shows, inside jokes with yourself. You whisper "same" to memes as if they're your emotional support animals. You download apps that promise peace in 7 minutes while stress-eating gummy bears by the fistful. But somewhere deep inside, a voice is screaming, "Dude, this isn't you." It's muffled under layers of expectations, fear, shame, and that weird internal critic who sounds like your high school gym teacher and a disappointed French philosopher had a baby. So here you are, an identity caught in a cosmic escape room, blindfolded, slightly hungover from overthinking, and desperately hoping the universe left a cheat code behind the plant in the corner. Which begs the question, if everyone's faking it, what happens when someone actually breaks free? Okay, let's talk about what happens when you keep running your life like it's a group project, and your true self is the one who's been ghosted by the team. Spoiler alert, society collapses. Not in a Mad Max way. Not yet. But in a Target on a Sunday afternoon with low blood sugar and no parking kind of way. Let's zoom out. You and millions like you are stuck in an invisible identity limbo. A psychological purgatory where everyone is playing the character they think everyone else expects them to play while silently screaming into their comfort hoodies. And this behavior? It has consequences. Real ones. Like IKEA-related breakdowns. You know that moment when you and your partner try to build a simple shelving unit together? And by step 3, you've entered a cold war over Allen wrenches, your existential dread has leveled up, and someone has muttered, "This is why your family thinks I'm controlling." That's not just about furniture. That's suppressed identity trauma in the form of plywood. You weren't fighting about screws. You were fighting about the 1,000 invisible compromises you've made to be the version of you that doesn't make waves. And now, those waves are breaking on the shores of a wonky bookshelf called Blurco. But it doesn't stop there. You've now got a global culture of people pretending to be okay while quietly losing their grip over things like being left on read, not getting a text back within 0.004 seconds, choosing the right emoji to end a sentence. If I use laugh emoji, will they think I'm unstable? Interpreting tone from punctuation like they're decoding ancient scrolls. Why did she end with a period? Is she mad? Is it over? Are we at war? You've become a species that created a global economy, but still hasn't figured out how to leave a group chat without causing emotional devastation. You're navigating a world that tells you to be yourself in job interviews, but also, don't be too much yourself. Like, don't mention your obsession with penguin mating rituals or your secret fear of whales. Be quirky but employable. Unique, but not threatening. Basically, be a golden retriever in a business suit. This is how we end up with an entire society that's emotionally constipated, smiling on the outside, panic Googling how to cry without anyone knowing on the inside. Let's hit some numbers. According to made-up but totally vibe-checked statistics, 68% of people have faked enthusiasm in a Zoom call while wearing pajama pants and contemplating the void. 54% have pretended to understand crypto just to avoid feeling stupid. 91% have experienced a full existential crisis at a salad bar. And why? Because we're terrified of being seen as who we actually are. We've trained ourselves to only share our quirky flaws. You know, the cute ones. I'm so random. I like pineapple on pizza. But not. I feel like a sentient ghost wearing human skin, and I cry every time I hear a microwave beep because it reminds me of how fleeting life is. Yeah, that one stays in the vault. And this fear, this chronic identity suppression, it leaks into everything. It shapes relationships. You meet someone new, sparks fly, but instead of being your full weird self, you start auditioning. Oh, you like jazz, you say, deleting your Swedish techno lullabies playlist. You're into hiking, you say, while your legs file a restraining order against physical activity. Suddenly, you're two avatars trying to match interests, afraid to reveal that your favorite activity is actually watching raccoon TikToks and eating cereal at 2 a.m. while questioning mortality. You don't build love. You build a co-branded illusion, like a limited edition personality combo pack. It distorts mental health. You think you're broken because you don't feel like your online self. But your online self is a fictional character with 37 filters, 12 drafts, and a panic attack behind every post. You compare your behind-the-scenes footage to everyone else's highlight reel and wonder, why does everyone else seem to have it together? They don't. Everyone's out here Googling how to be emotionally available like it's a side quest in a video game. It hurts productivity. Ever notice how you'll spend 3 hours creating a perfect Notion template for your goals and 0 hours doing anything inside it? That's because you're not organizing your life. You're cosplaying as someone who has their life organized. You are, quite literally, productivity LARPing. You buy planners, highlighters, and those pens that cost $12 each because they spark joy. Meanwhile, your actual goals are sitting in a mental drawer labeled, "Maybe later, when I'm a better version of me." And let's not even start on email. Your inbox is a digital anxiety dungeon. Half of your brain is terrified of opening it because it might contain expectations. The other half is fantasizing about faking your own death and moving to a small town where nobody knows what a Google Calendar is. It corrupts purpose. Somewhere along the line, purpose got confused with productivity. You were told, find your passion and monetize it. Translation, do what you love, but only if you can make it into a 7-figure brand by Thursday. So now, instead of painting for fun, you're researching Instagram engagement strategies for acrylic realism reels. You've turned your soul into a side hustle. Purpose isn't about finding your why anymore. It's about finding your niche. You don't ask, who am I? You ask, what's my brand? Welcome to the capitalism filter on your existential lens. And deep down, the truth is itching under your skin like a tag on a cheap sweater. I'm tired of pretending, but I don't know how to stop. You want to scream, to break out, to show the world your real self, even if it's unshaven, emotionally unstable, and obsessed with possum memes. But you hesitate, because that would mean risk, judgment, maybe rejection. So you keep the costume on, smile politely, and hope someone, somewhere, will see through the mask and say, hey, I see you, the real you, and you're not crazy. You're just real. But what if you didn't have to wait for someone else? So here you are, sitting in the emotional equivalent of an IKEA ball pit, half existential dread, half stale Cheerios, wondering, okay, I get it. I've been faking my life harder than a dog faking sleep to avoid going outside in the rain. But now what? Well, friend, welcome to the rebellion. It's not a revolution with swords or spreadsheets. It's way dumber and infinitely more powerful. Because here's the secret no one told you. To find yourself, you have to stop pretending you're not already there. So how do you break out of the matrix without becoming that guy who carries crystals in his pocket and says things like, my truth vibrates at a higher frequency? Easy. You start doing ridiculous, illogical, deeply human things on purpose. Let's begin with the most powerful move known to psychology and high school cafeteria trauma: radical honesty. Not mean honesty. Not, I'm just being real, weaponized oversharing. I mean the kind where you answer, how are you, with, honestly, I'm spiraling about my purpose while binge-eating pretzels and Googling whether jellyfish have feelings. Or, I didn't text you back because I was watching a 6-hour conspiracy doc about birds being government drones, and I regret nothing. Radical honesty scares people, but it also frees people. It breaks the chain of emotional fakeness like a lightsaber through cling wrap. It gives permission. It says, hey, you don't have to perform for me. I just want your weird little soul to come out and play. Start small. When someone asks what your weekend plans are, don't say, nothing much. Say, I plan to disassociate in the shower, contemplate shaving my head, and then maybe cry laugh at a dog video. You? Boom. Human connection. Unlocked. Be the duck. This one sounds stupid, and it is. But it's also brilliant. Pretend you're a duck. Seriously, ducks look calm on the surface, but underneath, they're paddling like caffeinated toddlers in a bathtub. That's you. That's all of us. So instead of trying to feel calm all the time, accept the chaos. Lean into it. Honor the paddling. Instead of resisting your inner panic, style it. Make it a fashion choice. Imagine anxiety as a little guy in your chest, running on a treadmill. Give him a name. Give him a job. Okay, Greg, you keep sprinting. I'm going to do laundry and scream into the void for a bit. This is called functional absurdism. It's the philosophical equivalent of flipping off the void while vacuuming. Embrace your inner buffoon. You've been trying to be cool for too long. Let it go. Be cringe. Be weird. Be the emotional raccoon digging through your own thoughts at 3 a.m. Tell dumb jokes on purpose. Dance badly on purpose. Start saying thank you, I worked hard on my chaos when someone compliments your vibe. Life is too short to curate your every move like a brand. You're not an Instagram grid. You're a sentient bag of feelings who sometimes cries during pasta commercials. Own it. Let your weirdness be a GPS signal for your people. Because guess what? Normal people don't change the world. They just design apps to help you mute group chats faster. Create a fake name and say the things you're afraid to say. Not for catfishing, for emotional liberation. Invent a persona. Give them a ridiculous name. Emotional Gary, Philosophical Tina, Rage Goblin 3000. Then let them speak. Out loud, in a journal, to your cat. Let Emotional Gary say, I'm tired of pretending I enjoy small talk. I just want to talk about the meaning of life and why cereal tastes better at night. Let Rage Goblin 3000 scream, no, I don't want to join your work Slack channel. I just want to vanish into the woods. Sometimes we need fiction to tell the truth. Jung would call this your shadow self, the parts of you that don't get invited to the company picnic. But they're still you. They have needs. Let them rant. Let them write poetry. Let them wear Crocs in peace. Do the cheese test. If you're not sure whether something aligns with your real self, apply the cheese test. Ask, would I still do this if no one ever saw it? And also, would I still eat cheese even if I knew it would ruin my whole digestive system? If the answer is yes, congratulations. That's authentic desire. Humans are deeply irrational. You know cheese will hurt you, but you eat it anyway. That's called purpose with consequences. Start choosing your life the way you choose cheese, deliberately, foolishly, and with full responsibility for the gas. Slow down on purpose. In a world that celebrates grind culture and crushing it, try this instead. Do nothing. Badly. Take a bath. Sit under a tree. Stare at a ceiling fan until your soul reboots. Be the weird guy on the park bench who feeds squirrels and contemplates mortality. You're not wasting time. You're composting. Let your identity decompose so something real can grow in its place. As Aldous Huxley probably should have said, sometimes you have to be very still to hear the screaming voice of your truest self whispering, "Hey weirdo, let's dye our hair and start a pottery cult." Declare your rebellion. You don't need to move to Bali, become a monk, or delete all your apps, unless you want to. Just start doing tiny things that make you feel more you. Wear mismatched socks because you like it. Post a photo of your bad drawing and call it emotional modernism. Text your friend, "I love you," and also, "I ate your leftovers." This is how it begins. Not with fireworks, but with a whisper. I don't have to pretend anymore. And that one whisper can shatter every fake identity you've ever worn like a discount Halloween costume. Because here's the truth. You don't have to find yourself. You just have to stop avoiding yourself. And when you do, something weird happens. But we'll get to that in the final section. Okay, take a breath. Seriously, go ahead. Inhale, exhale. Feel the air enter your body, swirl around like it's judging your life choices, and leave like, yeah, this guy's figuring it out slowly. You've spiraled. You've rebelled. You've emotionally kung-fu'd your fake personality in the face. But now it's time. Time to answer the question you've been avoiding this whole time. What if the thing you've been trying to find never actually left? Brace yourself, because here comes the twist. You've been searching for your identity like it's a buried treasure, some epic, shimmering artifact hidden in the caves of Peru, guarded by emotional booby traps, trauma toucans, and the ghost of your ex. But here's the truth. You are not a treasure to be found. You're a sitcom character your subconscious made up for fun. Yeah, let that marinate in your psychic crockpot for a second. You are the main character in a show your inner psyche has been writing, producing, and binge-watching since birth. A weird blend of psychological drama, philosophical thriller, and dark comedy, starring you, desperately trying to make sense of grocery store receipts and your purpose on Earth. Let's say it plainly. Your subconscious has been trolling you hard. It invented most of your identity to entertain itself. That awkward phase in middle school? Content. Your fear of public speaking? Ratings. That time you cried because someone said, "You look tired?" Emmy-nominated performance. The inner critic? That's your subconscious writer's room. A bunch of neurotic interns in your brain throwing spaghetti at the emotional wall. You've been thinking of finding yourself like uncovering a statue hidden in marble. But plot twist, you're more like a haunted amusement park. Funhouse mirrors, creepy clowns, and cotton candy made of forgotten dreams. And that's not bad. That's awesome. Because now you know, you're not supposed to discover your identity. You're supposed to create it, like a weird, beautiful collage of chaos, trauma, joy, and microwave pizza. The problem is, you've spent years letting your subconscious write the show. You've been the passive protagonist in your own series, reacting to things, spiraling over audience reviews, and hoping someone else would hand you the script. But guess what? There is no script. There never was. And the laugh track you keep hearing in your head? That's your self-awareness, finally learning to giggle at the absurdity of existence. Let's go deeper. Think about this. Babies don't try to find themselves. They just exist. Loudly, sloppily, with full commitment to whatever's happening right now. Dogs don't worry if they're on the right path. They just vibe. The moon doesn't spiral over its LinkedIn profile. It just reflects light and triggers weird human behavior, like werewolves and astrology memes. So why are you trying to live like a Google Doc version of yourself? You're not a document. You're not a spreadsheet. You're a chaotic, beautiful, sentient blob of potential, and your job is not to be found, but to be created every single day. Let's get poetic for a moment. It's the finale. We earned this. The self is not a destination. It is a continual act of becoming, like a dance between your fear and your curiosity, choreographed by your weirdest dreams. If your life were a painting, it wouldn't be in a museum. It'd be in a basement art gallery run by a talking raccoon who also serves espresso. It would be strange, unexpected, maybe a little sticky, but people would stop and go, "Whoa, that's real." And what's more powerful than that? What's more radical in a world obsessed with perfection than to say, "I'm not perfect, I'm just real." And I'm not done becoming yet. Because here's the final secret. The real twist. There is no you to find. There is only you to make. And once you stop searching for yourself like you're some missing IKEA part and start building the weird, chaotic masterpiece of who you are becoming, life begins. Not in the past. Not in some shiny future where you've got abs and a perfect morning routine and know how to pronounce charcuterie without panic. It begins now, right here, in the emotional soup you're in, with your half-eaten sandwich, with your dreams that are too big for your fridge, with your fear, with your joy, with your group chat muted and your coffee slightly cold. You are here, and that's enough. So go ahead, write the next scene. Do it badly. Do it honestly. Do it like no one's watching, and also like everyone might be watching, but you no longer give a cosmic crap. Because the second you stop faking it, stop waiting for a version of you to arrive like a delayed Amazon package. You finally arrive, and you realize you were never lost. You were just buried under expectations, roles, performance anxiety, and expired yogurt metaphors. Now dig yourself out, with a shovel made of dad jokes, dreams, and the strange, soft power of being exactly as weird as you are. Because this isn't a story about finding yourself. This is a story about choosing yourself. Every day, on purpose, with joy, and possibly with snacks.